Last question that I got was how to write a good essay. So to write a good essay, the content is very important, meaning the isi kandungan. So do make sure that you have 4 points that you are comfortable writing, that you are confident in. Those, come up with those 4 points first, and then elaborate those points. And when it comes to elaboration, I mostly just focus on why and how. So why do you think that this point is important? Just state your opinions and how do you want to do this? How do you want to make this happen? So why and how are the questions which I ask myself. Hey guys, Victoria here and welcome back to my channel, and today's video is just going to be part 2 of the Q&A that I filmed. It's part 2 of 2, and if you haven't watched part 1 yet, you can do so by clicking the link down below in the description box. That will take you to part 1 where I answer more study tips questions. And next question, should I set goals even though it is small? Yes, definitely. If that is something that you want to achieve, then no matter how small it is or how big it is, set that as your goal, work out a plan, work towards it and make it come true. No matter how small it is, it doesn't matter. Next question is, how do you study at the start of the year? So I kind of answered this question already just now, but basically what you have to do is make sure that you don't fall behind on the topics that is being taught to you. Let's say today chapter 2 is being taught to you, then make sure that you revise chapter 2 by today or at least within this week. What you want to do is to make sure that you don't fall back on from 5 chapters, and at the same time do exercises from 4 chapters. If you know that there are some topics that you couldn't master yet, especially for maths, if you're struggling with some topics like log and with differentiation, then I think it's time to like spend some time and understand those things. But if you have understood all those stuff, if you have studied well for your Form 4 final exams, then it is sufficient to just do exercises to strengthen your memory, make sure that you don't forget those information, and then when it's nearer to trials, you can spend time revising all those topics again. But basically for now, do exercises on Form 4. Next question, what started you in making videos on YouTube? Why did I start making YouTube videos? It is because I love watching YouTube videos for one, and I love watching videos of how people study. I like to know how people study and try to implement those ways into the way that I'm studying as well. And I also really love watching vlogs, and I also find that I learn a lot from the YouTubers that I watch, and then I realized that I do have some things to share as well. There are some things that I learned along the way as a student, whether it's for SPM exam or for anything else. There are just some things that I have learned along the way, so I thought why not just share it with you guys, my juniors who might need it for your SPM. Next question, do you have a special technique for staying awake when you study SEJARAH? Well, I wish I did have a special technique, and this is a true story. I fell asleep a few times when I was trying to study SEJARAH from the textbook. I don't know, I think it's because of the color grading. It's all like green and I don't know. I just get really sleepy when I try to study SEJARAH. And then towards the end, when it's like 2 or 3 months away from SPM, I literally couldn't stand the SEJARAH textbook anymore. I just couldn't bear to open and read it. It's so boring, I don't know why. And so I used this book instead. It's just the SEJARAH SPM Kunci Emas book. And I just prefer these books because it has like better colors and it has pictures and everything is already in essay format. So I just read this book instead of the textbook. That was what I did. I also read a lot of buku comic SEJARAH. Unfortunately, I do not have the comic books now, but it looks a lot like this, comic Tata Bahasa, and it's even from the same publisher called Penerbitan Multimedia, but instead of this one, I had the SEJARAH one, and inside it's just like in comics version, sort of like this. So basically inside the SEJARAH comic, there are just like little characters who are talking to each other, but there is main points there. So when I'm really sleepy, I just read the buku comic SEJARAH. That was what I did. Next question, do you have any tips on Form 4 science stream? I'm starting it this year. Okay, so tips I've already given when I answered the previous questions, but I do have one advice, and SPM is not as far away as it seems, and when you're in Form 5, you will wish that you have done your revision when you're in Form 4. So My advice is to stay on top of things and revise consistently from now on so that you can master all those Form 4 topics. If you don't do it now, then you will never master those topics, because when you are in Form 5, you have to study for Form 5 topics. There are new topics being taught to you every single day, and you can't afford to take some time to re-understand Form 4 topics. So as it is being taught to you, make sure that you understand it and revise properly for every single exam that you have. If you have PPT, revise for it thoroughly. If you have PAT, revise for that. And it will really help if you have revised consistently in Form 4, then it will make your life so much easier during your SPM year. So my advice is to start early and revise consistently. Last question that I got was how to write a good essay. And so to write a good essay, the content is very important, meaning the isi kandungan. So do make sure that you have 4 points that you are comfortable writing, that you are confident in. Come up with those 4 points first, and then elaborate those points. And when it comes to elaboration, I mostly just focus on why and how. So why do you think that this point is important? Just state your opinions and how do you want to do this? How do you want to make this happen? Why and how are the questions which I ask myself whenever I want to elaborate on a point that I have for an essay. And the next thing to make up a good essay is idioms and advanced English words. So to know more advanced English words, you need to read more. I would suggest reading English novels, and if you come across words that you don't know, then mark it down and actually search up for the meaning in the dictionary and take note of it so that you can use it in your future essays. And also include idioms and quotes by famous people. And I do have videos on idioms and quotes by famous people and on advanced English words. So if you haven't seen those videos before, if you're new to my channel, you can check those out in the description box below. I'll just leave links. But basically what I did was every time before going into the exam hall, I would make sure that I have memorized at least 10 idioms that I think could be used in most essays. And then when I'm writing the essay, I would just try to include 1 idiom per paragraph. And another thing which makes up a good essay is evenly spaced paragraphs. So you want to make your paragraphs look nice. Organize those points into nice paragraphs. So the length of all the paragraphs in your body should be about the same. So you have intro, and then you'll have around 4 body, and then you have the last paragraph. So the length of your first and last paragraph should be about the same. Let's say you wrote 5 lines for the first paragraph, then the last paragraph should be around 5 lines as well. And then for the body, all the paragraphs should be around the same size. If the second paragraph has 10 lines, then make sure that the third paragraph have around 8 to 12 lines, somewhere in between there. You don't want a paragraph that is too big and then a paragraph that is too small. So basically when the examiner first look at your paper, they'll give impression points, whether this essay belongs in A+ or A or A-, and what determines that is mostly the size of your paragraph. So make sure that it is evenly spaced. So that's it. Those are all the questions that I got from you guys, and this is the part 2 of the Q&A that I did for study tips. And if you haven't watched part 1 yet, you can go ahead and watch that one. Also, you can follow me on my Instagram to take part in any future Q&A videos. I would love for you to take part in those and just get your doubts clarified. And I hope that this video has been helpful to those of you who asked questions. I hope that I answered your questions properly. I hope that this is the answer that you're hoping for. And yeah, that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. The next question is STPM foundation and so on, which one do you encourage? Well, this really depends on what you want to do after that foundation, because whether it's foundation or STPM or matriculation, it's all just a stepping stone to what you actually want to do. If you want